I'm about to spin this into a fresh, commentary-driven video script that feels like a creator thinking out loud, not a dry recap. I'll pull the core threads from Kingston's story and rebuild them into a new narrative with sharp opinions, personal takeaways, and that sense of talking through it with you get from a creator who's lived through similar moments. Let's dive in. I'm starting from a place you might not expect. Resilience isn't a single moment, it's an ongoing recalibration. Kingston's journey isn't just about cancer or a TV gig, it's about the pressure every actor feels to prove they'll stay employed even when life throws a curveball. Personally, I think the real story isn't the diagnosis itself, but what happens to a career and a mindset when the world briefly interrupts the audition loop. What makes this really interesting is how she reframes that interruption as a necessary pause, not a death sentence for her work. In my opinion, that shift from fear of will I work again, to how do I come back stronger, is the tour de force here. One thing that immediately stands out is the paradox of visibility after illness. On the surface, you'd expect a hiatus to dim public attention, but Kingston's path shows something different, a return that's purposeful, paced, and emotionally anchored. What this really suggests is that healing can recalibrate an artist's relationship with the public and with the work. A detail I find fascinating is how she used Strictly Come Dancing as an antidote to the darkness of treatment, not just a fun project, but a symbolic re-entry into movement, rhythm, and performance. What many people don't realize is that performance isn't only about lines and scenes, it's about rhythm with life itself, and finding a tempo after upheaval. If you take a step back and think about it, the decision to step back from an ongoing TV project isn't laziness or fear, it's strategic, almost pro-level portfolio management. Kingston describes the choice as uncomfortable, but it's a clarity move, a moment to conserve energy, to heal, and to observe the industry's pulse from a slightly different vantage point. This raises a deeper question. In high-pressure creative careers, where's the line between perseverance and prudent pacing? My take: the healthiest pros balance ambition with self-preservation, because burnout isn't a badge of honor, it's a career killer that can erase decades of momentum. What this really suggests is a broader trend, the normalization of visible recovery as part of the artist's arc. People want to see comeback stories, but the real drama is in the quiet, tangible steps, the choice of roles that fit a healing timeline, the collaborations that feel like a genuine fit, and the way you protect your energy while still delivering. A detail I find fascinating is Kingston's note about her first post-treatment role being not too big, not too small, but the right bridge back to screen work. It's almost a case study in smart comeback choreography. Pick the project that validates the return without forcing a sprint before you're ready. From my perspective, the fact that she sees the experience through a glass-half-full lens is, frankly, contagious. She talks about mortality in a way that sharpens gratitude, not despair, and that mindset becomes a practical tool. It makes tough days navigable, and it keeps the creative flame alive. If you zoom out, this isn't just about one actor's journey. It mirrors a universal pattern. Adversity can recalibrate what we value in our work and in our lives, pushing us toward roles, projects, or paths that align with a deeper sense of purpose. Now, let's connect some dots that aren't always spelled out in interviews. First, the timing of Kingston's comeback aligns with a larger industry truth: the appetite for human, imperfect narratives has grown. Audiences want to root for real people shouldering real battles, not glossy perfection. That tilt can reset which stories get told and who gets the chance to tell them. Second, the collaboration with figures like Gemma Arterton, Timothy Spall's Circle, and a high-profile platform like ITV signals a deliberate choice to blend prestige with accessibility, a smart strategic move for someone reintroducing themselves to a modern TV audience. A broader takeaway is this: healing isn't a punctuation mark, it's a transitional phrase in a longer story. Kingston's journey says, you can acknowledge the setback, recalibrate your pace, and still return with intention. The audience doesn't demand perfection, they demand authenticity, consistency, and a narrative that feels earned. That's the through line I'd emphasize if I were scripting this as a video: the courage to pause, the wisdom to pace the comeback, and the vision to align your work with who you are now. As for what this means for creators watching at home, Here are the practical takeaways. Treat post-illness returns like a project plan. Start with a role that tests you without overwhelming you. Build momentum gradually. Use downtime to recalibrate your craft, not just wait it out. Refine what you want to say with your work and how you want to say it. Don't let fear of public perception drive your decisions. Intentional choices about projects can redefine how the audience sees you and the kind of impact you can have. If you're building a career in any creative field, Kingston's story is a blueprint for modeling resilience. Acknowledge the hardship, craft a thoughtful return, and foreground purpose over headlines. What this really suggests is that the most powerful comebacks aren't dramatic twists, they're steady, deliberate strides that prove you're still in the game on your own terms. Before we wrap, a quick reflective thought. Imagine if more of our public conversations about illness and work emphasized the nuance of return, not just the triumphs, but the careful, honest navigation of the middle ground. How would that shift the culture around re-entry into demanding careers? Personally, I think it would create healthier expectations and kinder judgments for people who are rebuilding their lives while chasing their craft. Thanks for watching. If you found this perspective helpful or provocative, drop your thoughts in the comments. What's the one strategic move you'd make if you were coming back from a long pause in your own career? And if you've got a comeback story, I'd love to hear how you planned the return and how it felt on the ground. Until next time, stay curious, stay purposeful, and keep building your story one deliberate step at a time.